Okay. Okay, now I think you guys also can hear. You guys are online. So what? I think now they can hear because previous day was like muted my mic. But I think now you guys can hear, right? Yes, okay. Okay, now if you copy that file into your desktop, you can type cd desktop. So it will navigate you into the directories. Now you are in cd users Dinesh, your desktop. Here you might see your name, and then you can type dir. Dir is like simple command to view whatever the files in your directory. So here I have a lot of things in my desktop. So if I go here, I can see there should be a folder named IMSA py. So after you type dir, you should see something like in that list.
Can
You
you
should
repeat
see a
this process
folder named
again,
IMSA py.
Dinesh?
So the first command is cd desktop. The first command is cd desktop. Then the next command is dir. Because in Windows we are using dir. In Linux we are using ls to list all the folders and whatever the files inside the directory. So after you type dir, you should see that folder in that list. So you should see something named IMSA py. So now you need to navigate into that folder. So I will what's the command? So now you know your folder name. So what's the command to navigate into that folder? So I can type cd IMSA underscore py. So if I hit enter, now I am inside that folder. Here you can see. Now I am inside that folder. So here you can see the directory now is user Dinesh desktop IMSA py. So now I am in my that IMSA py folder. So if I type dir, now I will see whatever the content inside that folder. So inside that folder I have Python workshop folder, and I have two different files: installation txt and environment yml. So this is the yml file format of that my environment I am going to use whenever I interact with my notebooks. And here also you have another file named spec-files.txt. So I don't know how many of you guys have got some errors during creating that environment. You all created that environment successfully, right? Last time when you create in the environment, because you can type like conda env list in your PC. So it will give you all the environments that you are using. Currently, we have activated the base environment. So the first thing is we need to import our environment, whatever the environment that we are going to use. So to do that thing again, we can go inside into that folder using the file explorer. So after that, you can open this installation txt file. So if you open this installation txt file, it will give you something like this. So this is the another statement that we can use to create a new environment. Last time you guys remember, I also used something like conda env create dash f, then my environment dot yml. So these two ways you can generate like create environments. So this is the one way, and this is another way. So from using these two ways, you can create environment. So if you guys haven't created that environment here, you can use this specific statement to run this one, because some guys have faced into several issues when they try to use this command. So you guys can try this one. So here you have to specify conda create, then name. Here you have to give your environment name. This is the environment name. Then it's going to create the environment from a specific file. Then the file name. So here I have a file named spec-file.txt. So by using this file, I am going to create an environment. So here I have that environment. Here, if I go into my Anaconda prompt, you can see I have two environments. One is IMSA, one is base. So I am using the IMSA environment to run my whole command. So if you haven't imported that environment, the simple thing you can do is you can copy this entire installation txt. Just copy this file, just copy this command and paste it into your terminal. After that, whatever you have to do is you have to rename this one into IMSA or something, because I created my environment as IMSA. If you haven't created any environment like that, then you have to type IMSA. So you can use this command and try to run that thing. So it will install all the necessary files for that library. So here I will type like IMSA-1, but you guys can create IMSA, because I have already that environment created in my Python Anaconda package manager. But if you guys doesn't, after running this command, you should see there's no any environment name IMSA in your PC. So you guys can type conda create dash dash then name IMSA again dash dash file spec-file.txt, and you guys can hit enter. So after you hit enter, for me, the environment is already created. So it's asking me whether should I need to remove the existing environment. So if I press yes, it's going to remove the existing environment and upgrade the environment again by using whatever the specific packages I have specified in that specs-file.txt. So you guys also can run this one. So it will take some time to create that environment. For this thing, you need to have an internet connection. And if you are using a VPN, it's okay if you turn off or turn it on. It's either okay, both is okay. You should have to have an internet connection for this one. So you should see something like downloading, extracting package and preparing transaction. Then it will list the entire libraries that you are going to use inside that package, and it will download every package one by one. So any of you got an issue when you are trying to run this script? Is going? Or you face into some issues? So this is the command that you have to run. Conda create name. You can copy that thing, and whatever thing you need to rename here into the IMSA. Instead of my env, you have to rename that thing into IMSA. Is it downloading or not? So you can see all the packages that I am using inside there. You can see some like already, if you deal with Python, you can see some libraries that you already work, like Xarray, NumPy, Pandas. If this is one is not working in your PC, just double check whether your internet connection is working or not. Oh, come on. What is R&D? This time so the file that we have now first we need to execute this file. How you will see the run the command again? Here you can type this one. Yeah, one command of file. Yeah. So now if you go inside in that page and download the text. You can type Run that thing again. So if they are combination by download it down to the yes, here we have give you an mark this. Here you can see for me I have like since you are smart, you can type like IMSA. Because everyone it will be changed. Otherwise, you can type whatever. Here it should be like spec-file.txt. So if everything is working perfectly, you will see something like that at the end. So preparing transaction done, verification done, then the execution transaction done. After that, you can type. If you like stuck in that same thing like downloading screen, you can type, press like enter several times. Just try to press enter several times. If everything goes perfectly, you should see something like this. Like your desktop, then IMSA PY that folder name. So now you can type Conda. What's the basic command to view all the environments that you have created? Conda env list. You can type Conda env list to check all the environments that you have installed. If that environment correctly installed in your PC, you should see something like this, like IMSA. Here you should see an environment created named IMSA. If you use that by default command, your environment will be like myenv or something. You guys are completed the downloading part, or you are still waiting for the download? Because after that, we need to activate that environment. Right now, we are working with our base environment. Now we need to activate our environment that we are going to use. So here, the activation command is conda activate space your environment name. So here, my environment is IMSA. So I will type IMSA and hit enter. After typing this command, you will see in the front, this one is changed. Instead of base, now right now I am seeing something named IMSA, then see users Dinesh desktop IMSA file. That means I am currently working inside my IMSA environment. So in there, I have installed all the things that we need to use, all the libraries that I have used inside that scripts. So if you activated that environment, now in that environment, I have installed Jupyter Lab. So you should be able to open the Jupyter Lab inside this location. So now I am going to open my Jupyter Lab inside IMSA PY folder. So to open the Jupyter Lab, the command is JUPYTER dash lab. So here we have 4 steps. First is like importing the environment, then activating that environment, and to opening the Jupyter Lab, because we are going to work with inside the Jupyter Lab. So if you press like type like Jupyter Lab and hit enter, it's going to load bunch of things like to run the Jupyter server, we need to have several scripts to go behind PC. So now it's loading every extension and everything necessary to run the Jupyter Lab. So after you see this window, you will see your internet browser is automatically loaded and pop up a screen like this. So here I have already opened several files. I will close all those files. And here you can see you are right now inside this Python workshop folder. But for you guys, you only have like notebooks. No, you will never see the other files. You can navigate inside into the notebooks, because this is the Jupyter Lab environment. previously I have discussed about this one. So here you can see the file browser. File browser is like in Windows we have the file explorer. It's just like this. So we can navigate into our desktop. Even we can go inside the this PC and we can view whatever the thing. So it's like this. So here you can see all the files that you have in that directory. For you guys, you will see Python and you will see some folder name notebooks. So you can navigate into the notebook and from there, do I need to discuss about like Jupyter notebook separately, or is it okay if I go ahead with like Python? Because in Jupyter notebooks, we can discuss about like several things, how to do markdowns and those things. Because I will just open the Python. So inside that Python folder, I think you have that folder. You can navigate into the notebooks. Now you will see something like here you will see Python workshop. Inside there you will see notebooks. You have to navigate, double click in notebooks, and there you will see Python, folder named Python. You can click here. Inside Python, you will see two files named Introduction to Python, two Jupyter notebooks, Introduction to Python and Jupyter notebook. So you can open these both files. So I will open Jupyter notebook. What I have to do is like double click on that file. So it will open my Jupyter notebook file. So how many of you guys are here? You should see a notebook file like this. No, not inside this. If it's like it's actually should be open location. But that thing is not. You can like this. How many of you are
Yeah, I'm using another.
Okay, I think all of you guys are there, right? If you didn't see that file in there, that means you open the Jupyter Lab in some inside. You have to go here and check. There you open that Jupyter node. Here you open IMSA, Survivor, Interviewer, Jupyter. Because you deleted the file. Because here you don't have any file. So I have to go into, we have to do that. Once, so you did something last year. The person is reading some like that, it's a fever. So if you type like double fever in here, you are looking inside a different place. You open IMSA by twice. That means you are inside this folder. Inside this folder, you don't have that phone. Only those two files. That's why you are saying over there only one time. So you can force to you can turn on server. Interrupt the server, you can press like Control+C. So you need to stop the server. Now you need to go one step back. CD there. Now you have to type DL. After typing DL, you should see this one. And you have the Python. In here, you can type. In your navigation bar, you can go on this one. Inside there will be some file. You have to go into the notebooks and then you have to go inside to the Python. Opening that command. You don't have the first thing is you don't have the negative. It will be working like separately. You can try to load this. It will work separately. And when you like what is I don't have this. So here I can open like two different windows together. So if I open this one, so I have two scripts open. So if I need to interact with both the scripts, I can simply do it like this. Now I have the window like here I can navigate with this one also and I can navigate with this one. It's better than that. Even you have like if you turn this one on, like here we have like a small bug icon. If we press here, now it's going to display whatever the variables that you are importing and everything. It will display it in here. But we don't have that facility in Node. So if you have already imported this file, now you can. Now we are going to discuss about not about the Python, some things related to the Jupyter Notebook. So here you can see like the first one is file browser. If you hover your mouse over here, now you will see something like running terminals and kernels. So if I press here, it will open. Here we have like open tabs. If I open this one, it will show me all the open tabs. Right now, I only working with this notebook. That's why I see this one. So if I minimize this and open the kernels, so here I am working with several files. So I can shut down all the kernels at once. The kernels mean those files are running in the back. Even though I didn't turn on those scripts in here as the tabs, these scripts are running behind the back. So sometimes you see, if you have worked with the Python previously, you work with the Python notebook and you didn't shut down the kernel and you start using your PC. With the time, you will see the drive space in your C drive is increasing. That means that kernel is running behind. So it's generating a lot of dump files because you didn't shut down that kernel. When you are done with the script file, you need to shut down your kernel. So now I will shut down all my kernels. So here I have nothing. So the next thing is this navigation panel. So to have one navigation panel like this, you need to use Markdown. Like if you are using Word, in the Word also we have that facility. I don't know whether you know about this one or not. If we use open a Word file, we have that thing. So if I open a blank Word document, in Word we have the styles. So here we have heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, and those kind of stuff. If we type something and if we give this one the heading 1, like we can create a table of content. So now this one is in heading 1. So another one I can type something and I can give heading 2. So if I press enter and go into the references, I can put like table of content right here with those headings. So from here also I can navigate like that. So to have something like that, you need to use inside the Jupyter notebook. Also, we can have something like this. So in this notebook, I will discuss about like overview of Python and then the Jupyter Lab, getting here, tab completion. So just imagine I need to go into that specific section. I can simply press here. So when I press here, it takes me into that specific section. To work this one like that, if I press here, you will see this is the Markdown tab. So here you will see something like that. So if I press like shift enter, the text is appearing like this, but behind, if I activate this cell, it's like this. So in Jupyter Notebook, we can like use like headings using hash mark. If you use one hash mark, that's equal to heading 1. If you use 2 hash marks, that means heading 2. If you use 3, is heading 3. So here you can see, if I navigate into 0.1, here I have 2 hash marks. See, if I navigate into like 0.21, here I have 3 hash marks. This one is for the navigation purpose. And if you are working with the long script, instead of scrolling down and looking where you have done something inside your script, you can have like this kind of headings, different sections. So when you are working with the code, it will be easy. So you need to focus on this one. So here we have that navigation panel. So this one is the table of content, and the last option is extensions. So here we have extension. If you know, we have extensions like in the browser, we have different extensions. If you are using like YouTube, you need to have ad blocker. So it will block all that. Likewise, we can use some extension inside Jupyter Lab to like speed up our work. So we have several extensions like that. One is like Jupytext. You can search for Jupytext. So this one is a famous one to like convert Jupyter Notebook into any other formats. So if you are going to use Jupytext, you can install. Just hit here, install. It will install for you. That extension will be installed in your environment. So now let's go inside into the Jupyter Notebook. Inside the Jupyter Notebook, we have save button. So this one is to save your notebook, whatever the notebook that you are working with. If you press here, it will be simply saved in your location. So here you have plus mark. It will insert a cell because in the course we are using like cells. So if I type here, we are using cells. So here I just imported like IPython from IPython display. That means it's an inbuilt library. I just import that into iframe. By using that iframe, I loaded like we can load like several websites within our node. So here, if I press shift enter, you guys can move into this section and just press shift enter. So it will load this website inside the iframe. So here I didn't load this one because first thing we need to load this library, and the next thing is after loading we need to run this one. So if you run this one, you will see it open up that exact website inside our Jupyter notebook. So Jupyter notebook is much more advanced. Like you can like put whatever everything that you are doing in your research, you can display in your Jupyter notebook. Not the coding thing only. Like whatever the equations that you have used and every important things you can put in here. So if I double click here, you can see even you can add images and you can put like links. You can double click on this markdown. So here this one is a markdown cell, not the coding cell. So here we have three types of cells. First one is code, second one is markdown, third one is row. Typically when we are analyzing the data, we are using the coding cells. But if we are markdown, like if we are like typing whatever the important things, like just imagine we have used following equation to run the following analyze. To do the following analyze, we use this equation. Otherwise, you have to write it somewhere else in your notebook instead of you writing it the same place. So if you have something like this, you see whatever the step that you have followed to do that thing. So there's something, and then using the Jupyter notebook. So to open the Jupyter notebook, the command is Jupyter notebook. In the console, you have to type Jupyter notebook, but we use Jupyter Lab. So when you are using the Jupyter Lab, the command will be Jupyter-Lab. So when you using the Jupyter Lab, the command will be Jupyter-Lab. To work the Jupyter Lab in the using the command prompt, you have to use this command. Then it will load the Jupyter Lab, and when you need to work with the cell, you can either type enter or you can double click. Just imagine I need to deal with this cell. So now this cell is highlighted. So if I need to activate this one, I can double click. So if I need to interact with this one, I can double click. So it will open the code. Yeah, and then to run the cell, either you can press here. We have like play button, like simple play icon. So you can press here, or you can hit shift plus enter. If you hit shift plus enter, that code cell is going to be executed. So the next command is alt enter. And also you can type control enter. So these are the functions that we can use inside Jupyter Notebook. So if you use control enter, it's going to execute cell in place. And also escape. If you need to get away, like when you activate this one, activate command, and you need to go back, you can press escape. So you can try to using these things. So if you need to interrupt the kernels, either you can go here and then to the kernels, and you can shut down all the kernels, or you can go in the here we have like in the toolbar we also have like kernels. You can go into the interrupt kernel and shut down whatever the kernel that you are working with. So the next thing is like whenever you are dealing with some functions, just imagine you are dealing with some functions. So if you are dealing with some functions, so here like function. So you can create functions. I think you have heard about the functions. If you use something like frequently inside your code several times, instead of using that thing several times in your code, just imagine you have temperature data in Kelvin and you are inputting like several like station data. And now you need to convert that temperature into Kelvin for the analysis. For that thing, you can create a simple function. In that function, the main purpose is whatever the thing that you are sending into that function, if you the temperature values are in Kelvin or Celsius, it will convert it into the Kelvin by using that function. So this one is just a small function. Whenever we are creating the functions, we will discuss this one further when we go into the Python. The first thing is like def, that means define space your function name. After that, within bracket, you need to type what are the variables required for this function to work. So here we are going to create a function square root that. So whatever the thing, if we type for to execute this function, we can type like square root dash root. Then if we give some number, just imagine if we give like 2, it will this number will be squared and we can see the output. It will be like 4. So to this function, so in there we describe that function there square that takes. So after that you can see we have this 2 like 3 commas. That means it means the doctorate. Whenever you create a function and after you creating the function, just imagine you are sharing this function with someone else, sharing this script with someone else, but he or she might doesn't know about the thing that this function is doing. So if you need, it's just like a help file. So whenever you download the software, you are receiving something like readme txt or something. In that readme file, you see all the necessary instructions. So for that function, here we type like this is the function that that squares a number. So here, then we created the variable c equal whatever the value that we passed into this variable x times 2 stars mean the square, not the multiplication. If we put 1 star, it's just multiplication. We will discuss about this one when we go into the Python introduction to like basic syntax in the Python. It's just the operator. This one is for multiplication. But if we use like 2 stars, this one is for like square. Whatever the value, then the square. So here we have 2 squares, that means it will square. Then return C, that means the C value will be returned. So you can run this one. If I execute this one, now the square that function is already created. To use that function, I can type square that 2. That means I am passing 2 and print the output. So if I run this, it gives me 4 in the following line. If I press like 3, you can try to interact with this one. Just try to interact with this notebook. You can change it to whatever the value and you can type shift enter. See, now it's like 9. So this is the basic things. We will discuss these things further. You only need to know how to execute these cells. To execute the cells, we have to use shift enter. And here also you will see some numbers. Here you can see small number. See, now it's 8 and this one is 7. So the cells are executed in order. So if I stop this kernel, let me stop this kernel. So if I stop this kernel, it's going to remove all the variables that is stored in his variable. So if I shut down this one, and also I can remove the output. So if I remove the outputs, now all the numbers are gone. So if I run this one at the beginning, it will give me the error because we didn't define a function at the beginning. So here you can see number 1. So I have run this one first, but I didn't define the function first. But here I am asking Python to use that function and execute that one, and then it giving me an error like name square that is not defined. It's because I didn't define that function previously. But if I run this one, now the function is defined. So if I run this again, so here you can see 1, then 2. If I run this one again, now it's giving me the output. So whenever you create the functions, you need to understand that function should be appeared in the top of your code if you are using the functions. Then the getting help. So now here we have defined a function, right? So also we will import several libraries like xarray, and inside the xarray we have different functions. To view the help file like this section of that specific code, we can type like the function name, then at the end we can put a comma. If we put like function name, comma, And then when we try to run this one, it will give you that doctrine string. So here it giving us this specific line. This is the function that displays a number. That means if I delete this line, let me delete this line and execute this command. So now I have created, see here is 5. That means in here I don't have docstring. But now I am going to access the docstring from there, whether there's file or not. So here is saying me like there's no docstring. That's because I didn't mention anything about these functions. So when you are creating the functions, you should keep in your mind that you have to type something like this, because it will be much more useful when you are sharing this code with your friends. So now if I run this one and help for the docstring, it will give me the docstring file, because I didn't run this one. Let me run. And 8. Now this one will be 9. I have the string. And the next thing is how to import the libraries that you are going. Previously we have, like I discussed, whenever you need to install the library, what's the command? Just imagine you now right now you are using IMSA environment to run this script. If you need to install new libraries into this IMSA environment, what's the procedure? Yeah, just imagine you need to install libraries inside into your IMSA environment. Yeah, first, if you have created, first you need to check whether your environment is there. If the environment is there, then you have to activate that environment. After activating, you can type on space install, then your package name. So then you will install the package in there, but the package is inside your environment, but you didn't load that package into your notebook. To use that package, you need to import that thing. Just imagine you installed NumPy, you created the IMSA environment, then you activate this one first. At the beginning, you activate this environment. Then the second step, you install using Honda space install, then NumPy. You install the NumPy. Then you open the Jupyter Lab, then come into the Jupyter Lab interface. From there, you need to import that library inside into your notebook. Because in here, the library is inside your environment, but not inside your notebook. First thing, next thing is you need to import that NumPy. Whenever you importing like libraries like Xarray, NumPy, or Dask, or something, or Matplotlib, the command will be, the structure will be like this from NumPy. That means inside our environment we have NumPy library. That means from NumPy import random. Import random means inside the NumPy library we have a function called random. Is to generate a random number. So
what is the difference between installing specifically like this and then installing NumPy importing NumPy general, like Honda importing NumPy, so that they know when random is inside NumPy, so I just importing NumPy.
no, first you need to create life. Just imagine you are doing a lab experiment. Before you do some experiment, you need to prepare your lab. If you are working on a like specific research, like you have to prepare your lab first. If you don't have a lab, you cannot work. It's like that. First thing, before you go ahead with the Python, you need to create your environment. Inside that environment, you can have multiple notebooks. Because I am using like this notebook. Also, I am going to work on this notebook. If I open like introduction to this one, introduction to Python, these two notebooks are running inside that IMSA environment. But for one notebook, I might not need like NumPy and those things. From that command, what we are doing is importing those libraries inside into our book.
Yeah, then my question is now my environment here is NumPy.
Yeah.
Now instead of specifically name the term random, I just say importing NumPy, because I know random is inside NumPy.
Yeah. It's like then from NumPy import random mean you can use this one. It's the variable name that you are going to use in the further like the things. So here you see like NumPy. If you type only like NumPy, then you have here you have to type NumPy dot random then random. If you only like you type like this, import NumPy from NumPy, it will load the NumPy, but it will not load. It will load all the things inside the NumPy, not that specific library. So that thing will be too much heavy for your PC to run also. So you need to choose the specific things that you only need. So then you have to import the random. From the random, you can inside the random. If you need to view the help file, we can type random.R.M.D that doctrine. So here you can see what that function does. If we are going to use the function random inside the NumPy library, we have to pass. We can pass like several things like D0, D1, DA. Then it will return a sample, the standard normal distribution. So how we can see this one is because when they write the function, they type their doctrine like this. That's why we can see a help file like this. So here you have a complete this like view how you can use that file. So here if you need to create like random, here also you have some examples. NP random 2 comma 4. So it will give you random numbers between 2 and 4 with the normal distribution. So the next one is like here you don't need to understand about the other things. You need to understand about this comma thing. Whenever you need to know about the doctrine about a specific function, you have to type like that function. Then at the end, you can type comma. So it will give you the doctrine. There's another option that you can see the doctrine of this file is if you use like Jupyter Lab, there's another way that you can look into this one. From here, you can open like file, new launcher. From the new launcher, you can open a contextual help. So if you open this one, here also you can view whatever the thing without typing this comma. So here, if I press my cursor, it's going giving me that doctrine inside this contextual help. So if I go here and press on the square, that is giving me the doctrine about that specific function. Without typing the square, I can view the doctrine. So these are the advantage of using Jupyter Lab instead of Jupyter Notebook. So you have that contextual help over there. See? So the next thing is tab completion. Whenever you need to see something. So here I am creating a list. So we will discuss about how to create list and those things like variables inside the Python using several things. So here, first thing is I need to create this list. Now I need to know whatever things that I can do with this list. So I can type like list dot and hit tab. So it will give me all the commands that I can do to this list. So here I have like append, clear, copy, count, extend. So these are the commands that I can deal with this list. So if I need to know something regarding insert or like copy or anything, you can press here. So it will automatically generate the next thing for you. For that thing, you have to use like tab. Here you can try. Just try to execute list A. First, you need to execute this cell. To execute the cell, you have to hover your mouse and activate this cell and hit Shift Enter. Now that command is run. You know it from there because of this number. After that, you can go into the second cell and type. Here I give that list name as like list A equal 1 comma 2 and then I type whatever thing inside the list. So to check what are the commands that I can use with that list, you can type like that name dot and then you can press tab. From there you will see all the functions that you can use with that specific list. So here from the index mean, if you need to access the first, or because here also the Python also using the index. Like if you have like multiple lists, inside the list we have like just imagine 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 values. So if you need to access the first value using the index, what will be the index of this one? It will be 0, because Python is also 0 based. During the NCL, we discussed that the NCL is also 0 based. Python is also 0 based. If we need to access the first value inside our list, we have to type like index 0. So it will access the first value in our list. If we need to access the second value, it will be like index 1. It will give us the second value in our list. We will discuss about this one during the introduction to Python. You don't need to focus on that thing here. I am like planning to give you an idea how you can view what are the commands that you can use with this specific function. That to do that is like you just need to press the tab. So from there you will see all the functions. So if I run this one, list A index 1, it will give me the output as like 0. That means whatever the value in my list as the second value. So the next one is like Markdown. So this one is the important thing, like for the navigation and for like having mathematical equation inside your notebook. Just imagine you use some equation to do a calculation. Inside the notebook, you can type that equation notes. So you don't need to cross check with your like actual notebooks where you write these things that I have done using this code. So everything is there. You don't need to cross check with your notebook, because if you are writing a specific code, you are only coding part is there, but you don't know what you have done with that code. To refer that thing, you have to refer your notebook or whatever the text that you have written in somewhere. Instead of doing that, you can write whatever thing you have done with the following things in the markdowns here. So here you can choose, instead of using the code, you can choose markdown. So it will give you the access for different things. So here you can view this one more. Like if you need to learn more things about markdown, I think you can go and click these links. So it will give you more additional information about the markdowns. So these things are like inline plots. Like in future, we will discuss about matplotlib. So here we can import like matplotlib inline. Also, we can import like matplotlib pyplot as PLT. So here we importing two different libraries. One is NumPy. We are importing NumPy as NP. So you ask like, can we import all the necessary libraries inside the NumPy? So that's the same exact thing we are doing in here. So we are importing all the libraries inside all the functions inside the NumPy as NP. If you need to see what are the functions that we can use with NumPy, we can type like NP. After the import, first we need to type like shift enter. So now we have that NP thing, like NP variable. So if you need to access whatever the things in NP, you can type np.tab. So it will give you all the functions that we can use with this NumPy variable. So here you see all the functions inside NumPy. Either you can import only one function at a time using that one, that thing like from NumPy, import that is specific library. Or you can import the entire thing and you can use one from here. So to view those things, you can type like your variable name, then dot and press tab. So it will give you all the functions that you can use with NumPy when you are using the NumPy. So we will discuss about NumPy later or not. So here we are creating a variable name t. From the NP we have line space to create some array. So if we run this one, it will create some dummy data and it's going to create a plot using PLT. That means matplotlib we imported the plot. If we are going to create a plot, we have to import matplotlib because that's the king when it comes to like visual interpretation of any kind of data inside the Python. So here we import like plot function. Inside there we are displaying the sine curve using these values. So it's just a simple example how you can do the coding, because we didn't even like format the axes. We didn't type like the titles. We didn't like do anything. These are by default. And also we have some magic commands, that mean by default commands that we can load inside the Python environment. These things we are not going to use typically, but you have that facility also. Just imagine you need to run the commands that you are typing in the terminal. You need to run the same exact commands inside this one. For this, you can type like percentage mark, and also you can type like dir. If I type dir, hit enter here, I think I need to put like the hyphen mark also. Yeah, it's for the hyphen mark. See, I can type dir. Dir is the command that we are using inside the terminal. But if we need to run those commands inside the Python Jupyter notebook, we can do it. For that thing, we can type like exclamation mark, then whatever the command that we are using inside the terminal. So here it giving me all the files and folders inside my current working directory. So here also we can like create. If we need to write some like temporary files, we can like in the Python, if you are using the pure Python, the output of a Python file will be like p1. So you need to keep in your mind that this one also. If you see something at the end of a file named py, that means that's a Python script. If you see something like .exe, it's an executable file. If you see something like .ncl, that means we discussed about this one. This is NCL script. If you see something named like .nc, it's HDF code. Even you will see like HDF or HDF file. That means it's the HDF file. So for the Python, the file extension is .p1. So also, if we have like Python files, we can load those Python files inside our Jupyter notebook also. So here, if you have several Python files, so here let me create a temporary Python file. So I will create temporary Python file inside this directory. So I can execute this command. So it will execute desktop tmp file and import np. And you can see here I have two files already created. I will delete these two. Let me navigate into my folder. Desktop. Python, from there I will delete these two files. So you guys doesn't have any Python files in there, but for me I have. So I will refresh this one. Now those two files are gone. So if I need to create a Python file, I can simply type write file desktop tmp.py. So it will create tmp.py file in my current working directory. So if I run this command and refresh here, load that one. So here is created tmp.py file in my desktop. Here you can see Dinesh desktop tmp.py. If I navigate into this directory using my file explorer, Windows File Explorer, inside the desktop, I have this tmp.py. So it created that temporary file in that location. Just imagine you have these kind of scripts, and you know you need to import those scripts inside to your like notebook. It's also possible. So you can type like even if you need to run the script, you can type here. You can type your location, and then you can give like py. Then it will run that command. For here, this command is not working. It's because if you are using Linux, you have to type like run. If you are using Windows, you don't need to type like run. You just simply can give this percentage mark and tmp. So let me copy this one. Instead of going into that location, I can simply copy this file inside into my same folder where this folders are like files are located. So I will copy this one into my notebooks, and there we have Python. I will copy that file in here. So now I have that Python file here. So if I need to run that py file, I can simply type emp.py. So this one I have typed like Python emp.py. See, now it will give me the output, because here I type like my function will print like something named hello Wellington or something. Here if I rename this one into something else, I can run that one also. So you can try to run that file also. Here if you need to load those files, also is possible in there. So those are the things when it comes to these things, and even you can share these notebooks. You can, like the same way that I shared you can go to the files and then you can save your notebook in the directory you like. So you can go into the save notebook or save notebook as, and then here I'm going to save this notebook inside workshop notebook Python 3 Jupyter 3. Instead of using the Jupyter 3, I can give any other name for this file. So that file also here I get error is because I mess up with the saving location. So if I go here and I navigate into the in, if I need to give something else for this file, I can type my name .py. I can save this one. So that file will be saved as my name, and if I navigate into this folder, I have that Python file. So now you can share this file with your friend. So he or she can open this Python notebook and interact with that Python also. So those are the basics about the Jupyter notebook. Now we can go ahead with the Python part. So the Python commands, you can open the introduction to Python data analyze. So here, from here, we will discuss about the basic Python syntax. Because for these things, we discuss about this, why Python is important and those kind of things we discussed previously. So I'm not going to repeat those things again. Here also, if you click this link, the standard libraries, you will see all the libraries that comes by default with the Python. So inside in this Python like doc.org, here also with the different versions, you can see different packages are available. If you are using the Python, the latest version, 3.12, you will see these packages are available in here. So the first thing is how to import anything. So we have a name like this command is like the basic things you can do with the Python. So whenever you create the Python code, it should be better than ugly or those kind of things. It's like importing library. So by default with the Python, we have a library called this. If we import this, it's going to print this entire state. So you can run this one. It's like a small thing in the Python. So here is like some elements of the syntax. So here we will discuss about how to go with like Python. Here also I am like how to create py scripts. So we will discuss about the py script later. So in this script, it will be write Python print upper.py file in your current location, and that Python that function will use the system library. That means it will to navigate between different locations, we need to open the system file. And here the basic thing about that function is like I created this one is to uppercase. If you pass something into like this string into that function, something anything then like this, so you can even modify this one. So if you run this script, it will save py file in your location. So here you can see if I refresh, it's going to save that print upper py Python script in that location. After that, we can type dir all Python files. So now it will show me all the Python files inside my location. So I have two different Python files. we created TMP file using the previous script. Right now we create another function using this one, write file print upper py. So if we need to use that script, we can type exclamation mark Python, then our script name inside there, whatever thing that we are going to pass into that function. So here if I type like Dinesh or something, let me type like simple. You can type all simple. So like this and hit enter. It's going to print all the letters in capital because that function I created to make whatever the thing I pass, whatever the string that I pass into that function, it will give me all the letters in block letters or the capital letters. So whenever you are going to invoke a Python script using the terminal like Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebooks, you have to type exclamation mark, then Python. This is for like if you are working in the Windows. If you are working with Linux, the command will be different. If you are working in the Jupyter Notebook using Windows environment, you have to type exclamation mark, then Python, then your script name.py, and then the values you are going to pass into that specific script. So the next one is like variable names. When you are assigning in the Python, you can assign different variables, but you need to keep in your mind that you cannot use these kind of names like for, while, those kind of things. The names cannot be used inside the Python because those things are functions. You cannot assign like as variables. So if you type like 4 equal 3, so now you are trying to create a variable name 4. Why is not possible in Python? So if you try to run this one, it will give you an error because 4 is a looping structure. It's not a variable name because you cannot use those kind of names when you are assigning the variables. You need to keep in your mind that it is for all the language is same. Even when you are using the NCL also, we cannot assign the names like this. Even while is also a by default function we use in the loop like Python. We cannot use while. So the next thing is the operators inside the Python. So if we need to create a variable name A and we need to assign value 5 into that variable, the assigning structure is like this. First your variable name, then equal whatever the value you are going to pass into that variable. So previously I discussed about this small bug icon. Now you can press this small bug icon and you can also press over here. So now you will see all the variables that you are importing in your notebook. So if I run this one, you can see A equal 5 over there in here. So the next script is A equal A into 2. That means now I am reassigning this A as the previous A value of the previous A is 5 times 2. Now if I use A after this command, it will be like 10. So if I run this command, now the value of A is 10. Here you can see the value of A is changing to the 10. So if I type like A equal A plus 2, what should be the value? It should be 12. So you can try to run this one. Then here you can see the value is changed, but the output is not there, but we can see whatever the things inside the variable. And if we create something like B, we can create, let me insert a new line after this 8. Let me insert a new line over here. Can put like plus mark and I can type like B equal 8. So if I execute this one, it's showing me I have two variables. One is A, one is B. So from here you can see whatever the variables you have imported into your Jupyter node. So this this function this function is not available inside Jupyter node. This is the other advantage because here I assign this one, but if I go into the bottom of my code, I don't know what are the variables that I have created in the top of my code. But from here, I can see all the variables that I have already created. So the next thing is like, instead of typing like a equal a plus 2, you can use this one. A equal plus a plus equal 2. That means if you assign some value into the a previously, that value plus 2 will equal the new value. That's what this function means, plus equal. So if now you will understand, if we type like minus equal, what will be the output? So if we have something named like, just imagine you import a variable as a equal 5. So you imported a variable as a equal 5. Now we need to reassign this a into like a plus 2. So instead of writing this long command, you can type like a plus equal 2. The output of these two commands will be same. So if you are using like a equal a minus 2, what will be the short command? A minus equal 2. So if you need to like assign like a equal a multiplied by 2, what will be the command? Short command. A multiplied by 2. These two will be same. So these things are small things, but when you go into the practical coding, you can use these small tricks. So the next thing we have discussed is like, if we use 2 stars instead of 1 star, if we use like 2 stars, I previously spoke about this one. If you use 1 star, this means multiplication operator. But if you use like 2 different stars, it's like square. Plus means the plus, minus means subtract, and this one means the division. So you can run this one also. If I type like x equal 2 and print x is x is 2, but if I type like x square like 2 stars type 2, this means x square 2. If I put like x 2 squares 3, it means 2 to the power 3. So here also we can use these commands to reassign the values. So you can try to interact with this one. Also, we have by default command named power. In the Jupyter notebook, we have like by default in the Python environment, we can use like POW command. That means the first one will be your variable and the second one will be your power. The power function is like that. POW. Here we have passed 2 arguments. The first argument is the value you need to square. And then this one is the power. So if you need it's like 2 to the power 4, what will be the 2 inputs? The 2 is showing the first variable as the variable and 4 is going as second variable. Either you can use power function or either you can use something like this. So these are 2 basic things. Even if you open like file, go and open a new launcher and go for the contextual help, and here you can go back into your code and you can press in power. So it give you the basic like everything related regarding this power equal like power function. Otherwise, what's the thing you can type? POW comma and hit enter. So it also give you the doctrine. Otherwise, you can open a new launcher file, new launcher, and then you can open a contextual help at the end, and then you can go back to your function and click over your specific function. Then it will load the docstrings over there also. So here we have a small thing like previously also I discussed about this one. In the Python 2.7, something is different. Like if we divide like ratio of 2 integers was always an integer. if we divide, because we will discuss about the data types in here also, because if we go into the table of content from here, you can see basic syntax. After that, we are going to discuss about these data structures. In Python, we have float, integer, complex numbers, booleans, and the strings and lists. Even we have tuples and we have dictionaries. So we will discuss about these data types in the next section. But before going ahead, we can like discuss about this one, because this is the important thing. When we are using different versions of the Python, these commands will be changed. In Python 2.7, the ratio between two integers, the final value also will be an integer. But if you like use Python 3, do the integer division using this command, it will give you the integer value. Otherwise, it will give you the double value. So you need to understand these things also. You using different Python environment. So here you can see if I use only one division, because for this environment I am using Python 3.12. That means that greater than Python 3. I am using the Python 3. If I use Python 2.0 and I run this command, what will be the output? Right now I am using Python 3.0. That's why you can see 9 divided by 5 equal 1.8. But if you use Python 2.7 environment, like the version of the Python in your environment is like 2.7, and you execute the same command, what will be the output? The output will be 1. So that's the thing. If you use like different versions of the same, so you are using the same library, but you use different versions, these things can be changed. So that's why I like highlighted, specifically highlighted to use an environment. Whenever you making something, just create a separate environment for separate things instead of working this one. So if you need to get it as an integer, you can put double slashes. So then the output will be an integer in Python 3.0 onwards. So next we have like data types. If you type like x equal 2.0, if you type like x equal 2.0, and you need to view the type of the variable. If you need to view what is data type of the variable, you can type yes in the console, code console, you can type like type. Within the bracket, you can pass the variable. If you need to check the specific data type of a variable, you will just have to type use like type within bracket, give the variable key. Then it will give you the data type of that specific variable. So here I created like x equal 2.0. So 2.0 means from there I am assigning like it's a double value. So if it's a float value. So here if I run this one type of x, it will give me float. So here I am assigning like x equal 2.0. So if I put a point mark, by default, it knows that this data type is a float type data. So if I delete this 2 and press enter, what will be the data type? So here, since I have opened the door, like the contextual help, from there you can see the data type and everything. And also here also you can see. So if I need to check the data type of the x, I can use type x. So I know it's int. If I put like 2 point and I need to check the data type. Now I didn't execute this one. Let me execute this, and if I run this one, it will be float. So if x equal 2 to the power e times 2. So also we have this one, scientific notation. So that means instead of writing like 2000, we can use like x equal 2000. In Python, we can use like x equal 2 times e3. So x is equal to 3000. 2000. If you need to make it like 20,000, you can type like 2e4. So if I type like 2e5, you can see and run hit enter, and here there's like x, you can see. And the next is like integers. So how you can create integer type data. So previously we discussed, if you omit like point or decimal at the end, by default it will be a integer type data. So here you can see the difference. Even we can convert. Just imagine you have a float type data and you need to convert into the int type data. So to convert that thing, you can use this int function. So here I assign like x equal 2.0. If I run this one, x equal 2.0. Okay, now I need to check the type. What's the command? Type within bracket x. If I execute, type is float. But if I need to convert this float type data into the integer type, I can write within this one, int within bracket x. So now it will be like round up this value to the nearest integer value. So if I put like 2.5 over here and execute this command, what will be the output? 2. If I put like, let me put like 7, 6. This is still T. This is still 2. So even I think if you put 9, this is still 2. So you need to understand this one also. If you use this command to convert into like the decimal points into the integer type, you need to understand it's not going to use the round up. It's like only selecting the first digit, removing all the decimals. So also you have this function, and also if you need to format the data specific into a specific type, you can use this dot format command to format into a specific data type. So the next one is like complex numbers. We can have this kind of complex numbers also. That means 2 plus 3j. So it's a complex number. So if we need to print this one, it will print us 2 is equal. This is the value of the x is equal 2 plus 3 times j. So here you can also, from the doctrine, you can see the type of the data, which type is like this. So even the Boolean, then the next one is Boolean. If you need to assign a Boolean, it's like x equal true, either false. If you type x equal true, that means by default is a Boolean again. Even you can type like false. But here you need to be careful. If you type simple false or simple TURE, it's not going to be Boolean type data. So it will give you an error. So if you assign a Boolean type data, the first letter should be capital. T and F should be capital. Where? This one? No, if you are invoking a function, just imagine you are invoking a function, you have to use this bracket. Here I think you misunderstand with this one. Here I am going to like format, because by default if I run this one, x equal to 2 star 64 mean 2 to the power 64. I need to check the value of 2 to the power 64. Now it will be assigned into the x variable. From here you see this value, see is too low. So now I need to specifically print this value in scientific notation. If I need to show this value in scientific notation, I can format this one. So here E means I need to use that specific format of the scientific notation. Then format x value. So if I remove this one, it's not going to execute. So this is like assigning the specific format that I need to apply for that specific text. So this is the formatting. So when you are invoking the function, it should be two double bracket, the simple bracket. But if you are specifying another like specific parameters or arguments inside that same function, you have to use curly bracket. So we will discuss this one in the further, you will understand when we try to run those things. So here the Boolean type data we can use like this. x equal 1. If you use this one, is like now the x is integer type. So if we ask like x equals 0, that means we are checking whether x equal to 0 or not. Just imagine you have a list of temperature values and you need to extract specific temperature data. If the temperature is this, you need to extract it into a thing. So you can write a loop. To write the loop, you need to have this kind of like taking parameters. So it's checking whether the x equal 0 or not. Because here we assign like x equal 1. So the value of x equal 1, but is not equal to 0. So the output is false. If we type like x equal 1 in here, what will be the output? So what will be the output? So if I run this one, the output will be true. So same like that. We can assign, if we just imagine the output of that specific argument equal to the Boolean value. So we can assign it into another variable. Output of x equal 0, we can assign into another variable type. So here if I run this one, here you can see another variable is created named y. Previously we didn't create any variable for this one. We just check whether it's true or false.
So it can only use the 0 and.
Yeah. No, you can.
Of course.
It's like the output will be true or false. If you use equal mark, that means it's compared. The left side of the equation is perfectly matching to the right side of the equation. If those two are matching, it's giving you true. If not matching, it's giving you false. So also you can create something like this. X equal true, false. Now you can see from here, you can see x is not any other data type, is a list. So we have like true, false values. So if we type like sum in here, is going to sum all the true values, not the false. So what's the sum of all the true values? Is 3. Is omitting the false values. So here, if I press here, it giving me sum is like returning the sum of start value before 0 plus an iterable number. If we see something related like false, it's going to omit that thing as a 0. So the next type of data is string. So let me minimize this one. So whenever you have a big screen, you can interact with this one, but you know now. Okay, time is good. So we can discuss about the string data type later because we are also dealing with the string data type. So whenever you need to create a string type data, you have to type your variable name equal within the double single quotation. You need to specify your variable. So if I type like sentence equal 2 commas, the complete sentence, and if I execute this one, a variable will be created. In here, if I go here, I have a variable, this one, the sentence. If I click here, I can even see the data type and this things. So you can try to play with this script. You can try to play with this script up to the strings, and you can we can discuss if you face some issues creating the variables. We can discuss in the further class because these are the fundamentals. Actually, the fundamental. Before going with the huge codes, you need to understand these basics. So in the next class, we will discuss the rest and we will go ahead with like NumPy, because NumPy is the thing that you can like when you are dealing with the arrays, you can use NumPy. You can like slice the specific array if you need to slice the arrays or you need to reverse the arrays. We have to use NumPy. Even you can like reshape, even you can like get the mean value standard deviation of a specific array. You can use NumPy. So we will discuss about it on the upcoming class, the next class. The Friday we will discuss about NumPy. In the pandas, it's like tabular. If you are working with the tabular data set, it's the NumPy. Just imagine you have a station-wise data. In Excel file, you have station-wise data, station name, then precipitation, then the temperature and those values. Because these things are inside the table. So if you are working with the tabular data, then you have to use pandas. Panda is to use Panda. We are using Panda to work this kind of data. Then the Excel. Other thing is Excel. Excel is used to work with three-dimensional data because we have one tabular data across a time period. If we have this kind of data, we are using Excel. If we have like tabular data, we are using Panda. If we only have one single array like data, we are using NumPy. So to go ahead with pandas and X-array, we need to know about NumPy because in the tabular data also we have array like structures. In this one also we have array like data. So before we go into the pandas, so X-array, we need to understand NumPy. In the next session, we will discuss about the NumPy. So you guys can mark the attendance. So this is the QR for the attendance. You can mark the attendance. Okay, if you are done by marking the attendance, we are done for today, or we can continue. I am okay. I don't know about you guys. If you are like, we can continue, or we can end for today. And you can try to go ahead with this notebook also. You can go ahead with this notebook and read about the complex numbers and the booleans and the strings. And here you can like even manipulate the strings. Even though it's assigned as a string type data, you can like access the string using several ways. So here you can subset also.
So Danish, please, how do you subset?
But you know, we tried connecting data so now my head.
It's connected into your hostage. We meet your professor. Your professor came us to give a lecture on like Israel, and I talk about you.
You know, today I'm actually from meeting.
Yeah.
You know, Danish. Yeah, I think you're the one that with my
Yeah.
I should like my last year here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. What's for that? What's that? So she was like, oh, Like you want
He's supervised another guy from like he's from where I forgot, Nigeria or something. That guy didn't did anything. He's like bothering me like, can you do this one? Even I have to complete his like prepare the map for him. If I say like you can prepare the map like this, he is not going to follow that. I don't know.
I think say
That's why she like refused to get the international. But this time on he is going to write. Yeah. Because even before I come here, I just texted her whether can you be my PhD supervisor? She refused.
yeah, the first problem.
I just texted her. I just texted her. Can you be my PhD supervisor? Before I came, I just texted her. Why I didn't get a reply from her?
She said she had to do it.
She didn't know the international stuff.
I think that guy did it.
Yeah.
Still, my best friend even has this. What else? He was talking about
I think it's this guy. This is also like this one.
yeah. I think that guy really.
Because I have literally typed these and these maps. I have prepared by myself as an Indian. Sure. You were.
They are consulting, Professor.
Oh, another question.
You're making consultation to the doctor.
We are consulting, Professor.
This one is mine. The yellow game, we will keep it here.
This white one. This white one.
This is mine. And then, this is mine. So, next.
And I'm asking if you replace. Yeah, say yes. You know, this is my first time to come. Start.
You should turn on the geolocation, then you will see a lot of answers are coming from different locations.
Have you clicked the time?
Because we have tried that one for the sport department.
Yes. No. We close.
Because sometimes these guys are taking a screenshot and sharing in the group.
Now why did you?
Thank you.